G'day gang, Dan here, how you going? We're back in the Elder Scrolls Online Clockwork City. Provost.
Classic Gascon, fleeing to his chambers when things go poorly. I'm sure that news of Lord Set's condition has already made it to the streets. We have to move quickly to prevent a panic.
What can I do?
Try to talk to Gascon. He clearly doesn't care what I have to say, but he might listen to an exodromal. You remain, a novelty. No offense. We can't assemble the Congress without the Chancellor.
Alright, I'll find him. Where should I look?
Check his rectory in the west wing of the Basilica. He hides in there sometimes to nurse a bruised ego or write passive-aggressive memoranda. I'll try to settle the Apostle's nerves. Honestly, my nerves could use some settling.
I'll check Gascoigne's rectory.
Don't let Gascoigne wriggle out of this. He has a duty and an obligation. As do I.
Are you alright?
What? Yes. Yes, I'll be fine. This makes no sense.
What makes no sense?
I don't understand how a shadow could take Lord Set's place. Maybe this is some sort of test. But why test us? The Clockwork Apostles haven't strayed. We build and pray and experiment just as the holy texts dictate.
You don't think it's possible that Sotha Sil could be compromised?
Compromised? You make it sound as if Lord Set suffers some kind of defect, like a crimped duct or a stripped bolt or something. We're talking about a divine being. Gods can't be compromised. They exist without flaws. Right?
It might not be that simple.
Do you know what the sermons say? Complexity belies the truth. The world rests on simple principles. Set is the truth and the light. Understand the simple and you understand the obscure. I do appreciate your candor. Let's pick this up again later.
Right, I'm going to the rectory. That doesn't sound great. Not too far off from being something completely different. Alright, anyway. To his rectory.
Where did you hide it, you worm?
Going on here, a Shrike talent. And you stay down. Gascoigne's memorandum. Whole place has been messed up here. Fellow apostles, a matter of no small import recently came to my attention, and I must attend to it forthwith. I apologize for any disruption my brief absence might cause. Please refer any urgent questions to my aid. There is no need for alarm. Everything is fine. Please carry on in a manner befitting your station. Yours in fate, GG. The big GG.
There you are.
The Clockwork City welcomes you.
The factotums reported a strange energy signature in Gascoigne's rectory. Did you find anything odd in there?
Yes, I found a creature in Gascoigne's office. Kinda Daedric. A pale woman by the looks of it.
Sounds like a nocturnal shrike. By the gears, how did that thing make it past our security coils? Is Gascoigne
Dead? I don't know yet. He left this note.
not suspicious at all, is it? A sudden departure followed by a Daedra attack.
We won't know until we find him.
You're right. I knew Gascoigne was a conceited sluggard, but consorting with Daedra? I pray it's not true. We need to discover what he has that the Daedra covet. Proctor Luciana might be able to organize a search. She just left to disperse a crowd.
Alright, I'll go talk to Luciana.
I hope you catch Gascoigne soon. We need to know what he knows immediately.
Does Gascoigne own birds?
Birds? Not that I'm aware of. He might be tinkering with some kind of avian automaton, but he rarely discusses that sort of thing with me. Why do you ask?
Saw black feathers all over his office.
Wait, feathers? From a live bird?
Yes. Is that unusual?
Unprecedented. As far as I know, no living bird has ever set foot or wing in Clockwork City. And even if they did, they wouldn't last long. Not a lot of worms crawling around here. They do eat worms, right?
Some. Anyway, it looks like the end of that street.
Fascinating. I've always wanted to see one. Under better circumstances, of course. I'll notify our naturalists once we resolve this situation with Gascoigne.
Do you have any idea where Gascoigne might have gone?
I'm afraid not. Gascoigne keeps his own counsel about what he does outside the Basilica. He spent a few days out in the Radius last month, but that's hardly unusual. Apostles conduct research outside the fortress all the time.
Do you know what kind of things he tends to study?
Mathematics mostly, predictive theory, spherical values, virtuous enumeration, that sort of thing. He just published a dissertation on transdimensional calculation, making inferences on how numbers change during planar travel. Impressive work.
How so?
The specificity of his calculations just boggles the mind. It's almost as if he had access to a planar rift. Oh no.
The Shrike. You think he might be studying a Daedric portal?
I don't want to even consider it. Not until we have proof.
Best go out there and find
I
Luciana.
knew this wouldn't end well.
Okay, I will go find Luciana.
I'm not here to speculate on Lord Set's whereabouts. I'm here to clear the square.
You don't know, do you? I knew it! This is a disaster!
If you want to panic, do so in your own homes, not in the public square. Now disperse, or be dispersed. Get them moving.
You heard the Proctor. Return to your homes.
If you're looking for Lord Set, I don't know where he is. I will find out, though. Count on it.
I'm not here to discuss Sotha Sil. It's Gascoigne.
Gascoigne? What has he done now? I can't keep up with the complaints.
He's missing.
Good. Maybe a fabricant ate him. Our luck has to change at some point.
He might be consorting with Daedra. I found a nocturnal shrike in his office, and this odd note.
So, he finally graduated from corrupt hobbyist to professional villain. I'm almost relieved. Now we can finally give him what he deserves. I assume you informed your sponsor, Provost Varuni?
Yes. She wants you to organize a citywide search so we can bring him in for questioning.
A citywide search? I can't spare enough apostles to search a broom closet. Reports are flooding in from the Radius. Stories about fanatics in black robes, pale-skinned Daedra, living shadows. We may have a full-scale invasion on our hands.
Can you spare anything to help?
I have one asset I can spare. I know an artificer, Dalamar. He takes some getting used to, but you won't find a better tinkerer. He can help you find Gascoigne, guaranteed. Go talk to him. He set up shop near the tenements. Slag Town.
Alright, I'll go talk to Dalamar.
I knew that slag-addled piece of garbage Gascoigne would turn on us eventually. We should have dealt with this decades ago.
What are your thoughts on this shadowy imposter?
I think we should destroy it. If only to convince the people it can be destroyed. I'm already getting reports from citizens convinced that their neighbor or their friend is actually a shadow. Another few weeks of this, it will not end well.
The shadow took some of Sotha Sil's power. If we destroy it, Sotha Sil may be diminished.
I'm prepared to live with that.
You're alright with your god losing his power?
I made a vow to protect the Clockwork City and its inhabitants. If sacrifices have to be made, we should all be prepared to make them, Lord Set included.
Can I ask about your enhancements?
You can ask.
How do they work?
I have a crank in between my shoulder blades. One of my auxiliaries winds me up every morning before breakfast. That's a joke.
Do you even know how they work?
In the same way as every other clockwork automata. A combination of engineering and sorcery that would take a century to explain. The machinery keeps me alive. I know it's unsettling to look at, but no one ever said life in Clockwork City was fair.
How exactly did you wind up in Clockwork City?
The same as you, I wager. A combination of heroism and coincidence. I served Riemann Cyrodiil as a battle mage during the Akaviri troubles and the Valenwood annexation.
So it happened during a battle.
Yes. I'm still not exactly sure what happened. During the Valenwood campaign, I locked staves with a wood elf spell leader named Keladith. He was deceptively powerful, wiry, quick as a skeever trap. I remember cleaving his staff with a summoned blade.
And that sent you here?
Possibly. I think he was in the midst of a translocation spell when my sword made impact. There was an explosion and a bright light. When I woke, I was splayed out in the radius. Mangled.
And Sotha Sil found you?
Yes. His factotum scooped up what was left of me and brought me here. He mended my wounds and replaced what couldn't be mended with metal. I asked him why. Because one day you will shine a light, he said. And that was that.
Is he always that vague?
Always. Take my advice. If we manage to find the real Set, don't expect him to embrace you as a friend. We're all cogs in his eyes. Valuable. Beautiful, even. But ultimately expendable. You either grow to accept that, or you turn out like Gascoigne.
Like Gascoigne?
Yes. Bitter, sullen, probably traitorous, and if I get my way, dead.
Right, off to Dalamar. Is just below.
How dare you, Kermit? Your mother wanted a better future for you.
Looking for a forester and need us some extra gold.
Look at you, all full of fleshy bits. Not a scrap of brass on you, is there? That won't do, that will not do. I can fix you up, no bother at all. Maybe new feet. You need new feet, don't you?
No thanks. I need to track a missing person. Luciana said you might have something that can help.
A missing person? How mysterious. You wouldn't be looking for Sotha Sil, would you? I hear rumors, you know. All kinds of rumors. Something about him turning into a crow. Or was it a frog? Never mind. Luciana did you a favor. I have just the thing.
Good. Can I see it?
Whoa! Cool those cogs, you twitchy rascal. This little scrap heap should do the trick. Meet Snuffler, the tracking nix.
Hello there, Snuffler. Snuffler sniffs noisily.
There he goes! I just replaced his leg springs, so try to keep up.
Alright, off you go. Follow the Snuffler. Bounding along there. Snuffler on the move. Where is he? Where's Gascoigne? Barry, oh, there he is. Snuffler go. Taking us outside. That factotum needs a tune-up. Oh, we're going all the way outside. Off you go, Snuffler. Oh, he's got something. Going down. Come on, Barry. Stopping over there for. Why would he be all the way down here? Oh, there's a little camp over. Is that him?
Boy, wake up, Johnny! Visitors! Useless.
Going on?
What are you doing nosing around here with that ugly beast? Jonif and I haven't done nothing.
I'm looking for Chancellor Gascon. Have you seen him?
Chancellor who? Oh, you mean that brass-assed fancy boots that came running through here. Yeah, I seen him, dragging his silly apostle skirts behind him like a broken wheel chain. Seemed like he was in a hurry. Pretty suspicious if you ask me.
My fabricant's lost the scent. Which way did he go?
Yeah, the grease mucks up fabricant snoots. That's why we stay down here. Wouldn't want the constable to see you. Never mind. Your man headed west. Should be some oily footprints about. Follow those tracks and you'll find your fancy boots.
Right. Outsider observation report log 3. So I've been told that my observations have been too colourful. I suppose it's the way. I suppose is the way I'd put it. I guess after growing up in a world that's just different shades of brown, a bit of colour can be confusing. Still, they told me to write my observations and I'll be damned if I can do that anyway, but how I know how. So, they'll just have to analyze a bit harder. I thought I'd write about other places in Clockwork City I've visited so far. I've talked about the Brass Fortress and the general radius, but there are some other locations around here that I've been taken to. Some of them seemed a tad more practical than others, but then again, I'm not really sure I can compare my definition of practical with the god of mysteries. First they took me to the mnemonic planisphere. Well, more like we walked by it because I wasn't allowed to go inside. I was told it was sort of like a storehouse for Sotha Sil's memories. Yeah, you'd read right. His memories. He's apparently got so many of them that he likes to keep them all organized in a giant building. I tell you, it's almost as big as a castle. And they look like stars. How you turn memories into stars, I'm not sure. But then again, I'm not a god. The next stop was far more practical of a place, called the Halls of Regulation. Now I had been wondering where all the fresh water came from, because the rivers and lakes here are filled with oil of all things. Apparently this place somehow cleans it all up. Sure, they tried to explain it to me, talked about the water cycle and evaporation and all these fancy terms, but hey, if it gives me fresh water, so I can't complain even if I barely understand. The inside was a bit less spruced up than I expected. A lot of pipes, a lot of steam, and a lot of factotums. Couldn't help but feel nervous around them all. I was told that they help maintain the halls of regulation all by themselves. I was shocked, since the whole operation sounded a bit high maintenance. Wasn't there an apostle there to give them orders and make sure everything was running smoothly? And then they started talking about Sotha Sil and how he sets everything in perfect regulation. And honestly, I started to lose track of the conversation from then on. Well, then we went up north to the Everwound Wellspring, which was my favorite stop because they had actual food there. I've never been more happy to eat an apple in my life. After weeks of tasteless gruel, it was the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. Ma was right. Hunger is truly the best seasoning. And all the plants were green. I never thought I'd miss green as much as I do. Despite my excitement though, I couldn't help but feel that something was off about the place. The myrrh running it was nice enough, but after talking to him, I couldn't tell. I could tell he had a few screws loose. All that stress really must have gotten to him. I suppose he's under a lot of pressure though, especially since he took up the project after Sotha Sil got bored of it. Well, they're telling me to complete this observation report best I can now. I don't think they need any more observations from me, so I guess this is it. Right, so my overall impression is that Clockwork City, well, it's one of the most dangerous places I've ever set foot in. I can't really believe someone who calls himself a god would really let his followers live here. It's more made for machines than any living creature. Still, it has an odd beauty about it. The metal leaves in the trees that glitter in the sun are particularly nice. Guess I'll just have to get used to it, since this seems to be a one-way trip. No one but Sotha Sil gets to leave Clockwork City. Honestly, I hope I'm the last beef wit who gets stuck here. I wouldn't wish this life on anyone else. By Rosalind Fenrick, the Stranded Mage. The leaves are made out of metal? I did not even know. Okay, alright. Let's look for these, footprints. Searching. Looking. Oh, I'm not seeing any oh, hang on, what's this? Aha! Well, I don't know if you can call them footprints, but... like smears? Sort of smudge. Yes, a good class is footprints. Yep, more over here. On in this direction. This guy doesn't know where he's going. He's all over the place. What is that? Take that one down. Back. That's one down. Barry's about to swipe. And give him a big old slap. Is this? It's really cool. Right. This way.
Conduct your pinging check. Awareness rating. Lens rotation in progress.
Fishing hole in a big old oil.
Whose are you here to kill me? Too late. Your skeeving chancellor beat you to it. Who are you? Another one of vile, sniveling agents. Gascoigne's gone. Now, let me return to my mistress in peace.
Did Gascoigne do this to you? Where is he?
West, in the ventral terminus. He may have killed me, but he won't last long. He sealed his fate the moment he betrayed us. There existed a covenant between your Gascoigne, Clavicus Vile, and my mistress. But he broke it. Now he will drown in blood.
We will see about that.
Night Mistress, I am coming.
Tell me about this covenant.
Gascoigne vowed to bring us an artifact of great power. Now the artifact is gone. But don't worry. My mistress will wring the truth out of him soon. The Whispering Shadows will claim this artifact, and you will all die, deafened by your own screams.
Why did you mention Clavicus Vile earlier? Are his agents in the Clockwork City?
You really have no idea, do you? Daedric forces conspire in every dark corner, lurk behind every tree and stone. We spread like a plague, claiming more souls and territory with each passing hour. Sotha Sil's precious city will die at our hands.
Enough. Answer my questions. Are Clavicus Vile's minions in the city?
Yes, Scarthin and others. They served their purpose, and yet they linger. confounding my mistress's plans and providing safe harbor to that toad Gascon. I will say no more.
Gascon's hideout. Is Snuffler with us still? He is. Alright, let's work our way back on. Go over here. Let's make my way over to this way shrine. The Shadow Cleft. Oh, and there's a quest here. I think we might go and check out this Shadow Cleft. We'll work our way to Gascon. Figure out the way to that place. The Vale of Tears. Yep, there's certainly a few tears here. Actually, let's have a look at this. Now, let's go to Gascon. We'll get this sorted out first. Then I'll come back to this. Journal of a Stranded Mage. By Orinor, Mage of Cormalt. You know what I miss most? No, it's not food. Though eating that bland gruel given out here has become torturous at best. And no, it's not the smell of the green, though it seems like the stench of metal fills me to the brim. And no, it's not safety, because if Grantwood has taught me anything, it's to fear danger at every turn. You know what I miss the most? My dog. Jonah's a lovely creature, she is. Shaggy grey coat, bright pink tongue, her eyes look like two stars, golden and shining. I miss her wagging tail, always there to meet me when I came home. Her love of fetching sticks in the meadows. Ifri's name, curse it all, I even miss her barking in the middle of the night. I'm sorry I ever cursed her for it, because I know she was just doing her best to be a good dog. Perhaps I'm pathetic for admitting it, but I'll be damned if it's not true. But even though I miss Jonah, I still wouldn't wish this life on her. In fact, I'm sure she would have been eaten by now if she did end up here with me. Either that or killed by one of the monstrous constructs around here. All it took was one foggy night of too much sun's dusk ale. Mother always told me I was too much of a fool to have magic, and I'll be damned she was right. I must have used that portal spell near 100 times before, and all it took was some slurring of the L effects. Perhaps I switched up a syllable or two, and here I am. Lonely and bitter, wasting my time writing about my damn dog. I just hope she's being taken care of. My cousin Brelinel would check on her when I travelled, but Jonah needs a proper home and a kind hand. I can hardly believe I'm more worried about her than myself. Me, well, I can look after my own ass. Who's going to look after her? Find Brelinel in Cormalt. Alright. Well, shall do that. Make sure that doggo is look taken care of. Investigate the canyon. Gladly, as long as I can survive the fall.
Classic Gascon. fleeing to his chambers when things go poorly. I'm sure that news of Lord Set's condition has already made it to the streets. We have to move quickly to prevent a panic.